Welcome to the Out There channel, live stream 434. So I've reduced the frame rates to 20, and that gave us 10% more CPU. And the intro is maxing out at 95-96%, so that's not too bad. So we get a better CPU. Laptop. And then sounds louder than normal.
I'm searching, I'm loving, I'm finding.
Maxed out to 100% CPU for some reason. Come on. Good to be back. Yeah, I think the good to be back up to 100% there. But that's alright. I think we're at the desktop now, aren't we? Sounds like it's all working here. I'll just type up the side comments. Hello, anyone out there? Okay, and we got live stream 334. I mean 440. 434. And we got some space UFO topics and analysis. Yeah, still yet to get back to that part too, but need to do this first. Jerry, how's it going? Your first one to join us. Maybe the only one to join us, who knows? I think it's all working alright. Let me know if there's any crackle in the audio, or too low or too loud. It's one man band. So as you read on the screen, Asteroid Bennu has 1 in 1,750 chance of smashing into Earth, NASA says. So you got less chance of winning lotto, and you got more chance of dying by asteroid if you're still around in 2100. 2100. So yeah. So they've updated their prediction odds. So wonder they can't tell if it's going to hit exactly or near miss. So obviously there's some assumptions made in calculations, right? Maybe they need more sensors in space still to measure the speed accurately, maybe. Or so what they saying here. Future generations will want to keep a close eye on the big space rock. Yep. Researchers used information from OSIRIS REx mission that spent over 2 years orbiting, studying, and even sampling Bennu to get a better idea of the future path. Yeah, no one's actually brought us a map up, have they? Have we got one here? Let's have a look, see what that says.
In 2135.
Yeah. We don't know sound.
A potentially...
It's not going to work as soon as I hit play. So that's where it is at the moment, does it? So it must be a slow orbit. Do we have a year number there? August 2135. So oh yeah, you still got a bit longer then. So yeah, it looks like it's going to impact here somewhere, doesn't it? There it comes. Closer, closer, closer. Oh, boom, boom, boom. So that's pretty good prediction. So now it's September 24, 2182. It's amazing how inaccurate MSN report this stuff, right? They slimmed it down to 2100, unless that's what they were told. Now it's changed to 2182. So is it going to change again? Don't panic, everybody. They're working on some new asteroid busters. So this is the other piece of news. NASA asteroid deflection spacecraft now in finishing touches. Betsy Condon quoted. Condon? Sounds like a condom. What a silly name. Okay, anyway. What they're saying here. Deflection test. DAT. A kinetic impactor technology. So they need to test it out before this other big one arrives, eh? So it must be something related to that same event, I'd say. So you've got 100 or so years to get something working. That's all they say on it. They're working on it. And SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket in November. So this year they're going to launch it. So no wonder all the elites want to get into space, right? They want to get off this rock. Because they don't trust. Maybe there's something else coming that we haven't been told about. Who knows? They might have longer range telescopes than we realise and see something coming towards us. We are spinning around on the spiral arm at 500,000 miles per hour. Yeah, like I said, are we in the period of the dinosaur extinction as well? So give or take a few thousand years, right? So it takes 250 million years to cycle around, and we know the dinosaurs expired 250 to 300 million years ago. And there were several extinction events that happened, wasn't there? One about 500, 600 million years ago, wasn't it? And then 300 to 50 million years. So it kind of makes you wonder if there's a cycle pattern happen. A bit like climate change, where there's cycles within cycles. So yeah, we're moving through space all the time, three-dimensionally. You don't know that. You just carry on with your normal life on a rock that's spinning around a sun. But any sort of disaster can happen. Something could happen to the sun where something impacts on the sun and it dims, or causes a big solar flare that cooks Earth, or we just seem to carry on our lives not really knowing what's going to happen in the future. So yeah, it's kind of scary when you think about it, but I suppose that people got God to turn to. God will save us, and no, it doesn't sort of work that way. So yeah, you've seen all the disasters on TV where people get wiped out by mudslides in river and can't swim or get towed under or whatever. So yeah, we can't even defend ourselves from that sort of stuff. And tornadoes and cyclones and ice avalanches, and how are we going to defend ourselves from space rocks? So I guess Elon Musk is going to be making a bit of money from it. So I looked at what's the lifetime risk of developing or dying from cancer in America, just for a comparison, because it's this just rounded up to 1 in 2,000 for asteroid impact. This one, if we read down, it's got a few stats here. Risk of developing. So you got 50% chance you can develop cancer, and you got 21% chance of dying from 1 in 5. So yeah, you got a lot more chance of dying from cancer and catching cancer than you have being killed by asteroids. Bladder cancer, 1 in 26 for, was it males? Males dying from it. There's pretty scary stats there, wasn't it? Breast cancer. Is that for men? Let's just say males up there. Is there a female one? Let's have a look. Oh, yeah. So you can get breast cancer, guys. There you go. Esophagus, kidney, larynx, liver, lung. Here we go. Here's a 1 in 60. But is anyone close to 1 to 2,000? Not seen any. So there you go. 1 to 500. There's a 7. That's a pretty good one. Larynx. 1 in 2,000. There you go. So you got more chance. You got the same chance if you're a female from dying from larynx cancer and being killed by an asteroid. I thought I'd just chuck that in there anyway, just a piece of technical information. But yeah, we should always be careful, always get checked out for cancer, get regular blood tests. They can detect a lot of things in blood tests now. They can see if your white cell count is up. So yeah, if you've not had a blood test done for years, they can do prostate checks now with the blood tests. Every 6 months, or at least once a year, you should get a blood test done for all that sort of stuff. So that's just in America. So worldwide it'd be different, or different countries it'd be different. I suppose they got better stats, haven't they? And I'll post this one up, CNET. Bennu. Since we used their little video. And what else we got here? Oh, the first one. Oh no, that's some other fact I come across. We'll get to that. Alright, so I've got a fair bit of tabs here to work through. I had Google stuffed up, if you don't know, and it took away all our tabs, so it hasn't got that one gone. What was that tab there though? Damn. Basically what it did is that I had it queued on a video, and Google made this really bad code and error which resets everybody to their home tab. That was a crazy one. It stuffed up editing too after the last live stream. Yeah, what was that one? That's a good question. See, this is the sort of thing that always happens. We sort of get sabotaged. Okay, let me just see if I can... I just got to remember what I was going to do. I always need the first one to trigger my memory though. Ah, damn. Yep. What's on cameras? What was the first one? Damn it. Maybe I got a screen snapshot from the last live. Now we'll just have to do without it, I think. Right, there was now I remember it was that one to do with dropping orbs. That's right, we can re-look that stuff up. Okay, we'll do that now. What's that one? Oh yeah, what it freezes. So we'll get to that. So yeah, dropping orb dropping. That was the kite one. So now we know where we're at. I know Third Face did put up a video of that, and we'll use theirs. Okay, so which one was it in? I've added a few more since we last looked. Start with that one. Okay, we better check the volume levels here. I think it's okay.
The road to disclosure is on, and we're continuing.
Okay, blah blah blah. So, what's the first one here? I suppose we better have a look.
Case.
Sounds like a helicopter. Oh, is that the one? Yeah. Oh no, he's got a motorbike, that's right. Well, that's the one we want, and we got the full video this time. Now, is it just me, or am I seeing two beams of light there? So what have we got going on here? Oh no, it's cables. So
we're looking at this again. We're getting a closer look on the screen to the right, the original to the left. Right now, the first indicator is that could this be maybe some kind of Chinese lantern? It's a possibility, but the attributes to this resemble something that we've seen in the past. Brent, I want to get your thoughts here. Yeah, you can see it's almost like a crescent moon shape, but it's hot orange, and it's very bright, which kind of reflects the candle, what you see, the Chinese lantern, but the shape is totally different. What we're seeing here is pretty unique. It's a good capture, and then we see these orbs seem to drop from this object, and this is what catches my attention. It's a cool shot, and I'm glad he's got a steady hand on it. And I'm going to share this on Third Phase of Moon because what we're seeing is unidentified. We don't know exactly what this is, and I like what we're seeing.
I like the phenomenon when we see these anomalies in the sky, and then all of a sudden they're ejecting out little small probes. And this phenomenon has been spotted across the world,
and they've all been debunked.
So far, one of the best captures is one we're looking at right now. We've seen them in Long Beach, captured by Jim Martin, but this one I really like as well because it's the exact same thing. The phenomenon, if this is something,
it's still going down to there.
That's a regular occurrence, like a Chinese lantern, you would see these
videos
all the time. These
still?
are very rare, these kind of events that we're looking at. So I'm digging this one, guys. I want to get your opinion in the live premiere. Let's get to the next video right now, coming out of Switzerland. Check it out right now.
Well, they didn't spend long on that one, did they? Now, so let's go back to it.
But so far, get your thoughts here.
Let's get rid of the yab. Okay, so we can concentrate on it. So I want to see where it goes down to. You can see it's filmed in portrait, doesn't help us much. So it looks like it's down there, roundabouts. Okay, so let me just see if I'm going to be correct about it being a lead kite. So let's grab an image from there. Oh, I don't think I need that anymore. Maybe disable the plugin. I don't know if I got it. The stupid box should move out the way. Told the developers about it, but they don't listen. Let's see, make it bigger. So that screws it up. No. Yep. Well, we know it's there somewhere. Okay, we'll just grab it to start with. How's everybody out there today? Haven't been sick like I have. Been pretty crook. Most of mine's to do with side effects and pills. Nothing worse than feeling sick and you can't eat. And back pain, of course, and you can't walk very far. And numbness. So you got to keep on fighting or die, you know. And what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, they say. New Zealand's gone back into lockdown because some idiot come from overseas has now brought it into the country, Delta variant. So that's something else. And we got lockdown around my birthday weeks, which is around about now. And we try to plan something, and of course lockdown 4 says everybody has to stay home. So that sort of screwed up my plans. So we have to wait to see what the update is tomorrow. I wanted to open with, where is it? Okay, there we go. Let's open it up. Hopefully I've got it. Yep. Oh, that wasn't a bad cut after all. So I thought it was going to be a lot more waste on there. I'll just up that bit. Maintain, yep. How dead set, how's it going? No, it's not Chinese lantern, it's a LED kite, and I'm going to prove it. Alright, so you gotta remember, I do like 10,000 photos and videos every year. I've been doing this for 5 years. My mind's like a pattern recognition machine. I've seen so much, and I'm able to narrow it down pretty quick. Just takes time. The more you do it, the more better you get at it. So we could probably do curse. Maybe we could see some sort of structure there. What I'm thinking is this is a tail kite with LEDs on it, and the orb dropping is actually a rotation effect of a LED light that keeps strobing downwards. You can see it was dropping orbs at a regular pattern there. So you can do brightness, which they didn't bother doing. Remember, they sort of went off it pretty quick. And you can see there's various things happening there, but it looks like we're going to have to change some of the blacks to different colours and see if there's any reflections and changes in blacks. So you can see there there's going to be something in that. If we've got enough pixels. And you can see the guy was filming its portrait, which reduces the quality straight away. And he didn't take any photographs. So if he took a photograph, we'd have 4 times the quality of pixels to work with, and able to identify it a lot easier. So it's just a matter of people being if they're going to be sky watchers, being more aware of what they should be doing to able to collect evidence, right? And will we see a black kite or a black tail? It's not looking very good so far, is it? You can see how blocky it is here. So that's probably, let's see, 1, 2, it's probably what, six blocks of pixels here that we're dealing with. So that one's made up of two blocks of pixels with coloration. That one's made up of 1. And yeah, we're not going to see any signs of a tail, unfortunately. Might have to keep looking. Maybe this, when they zoomed it in with the original picture, maybe they've managed to improve it a wee bit. But what I'm seeing here is one of these kites that we've looked at before. There was a kite flyer in South America that flies these particular kites. Okay, so you can see here, it looks like has a tail that seems to connect from there. And it's probably going to about there, so why is it not changing the colour for us? That's scummy. Let's try that again. So it comes from there. Alright, I'm just changing it now. So I reckon the tail could be down to here, then it stops. So it used to come from, not at the very end of this, but somewhere in the middle. And it looks like it's going to be some sort of, it's got a special name for it. A kite that's sort of shaped like that. It's not like a box kite, but it's sort of shaped like that. We had it from South America. And if you put LEDs on it and overexpose it, what we're getting in the picture here, kind of looks like a blobby ship. Okay. So let's see. I don't think there's any better pictures we can get here. Unless we take it from this side here. So you can see the tail would be coming down here. And the rope for controlling it would be in that direction here. So the ropes for controlling it would be obviously in that direction. Right. Okay, so let's grab, once this turns around, you can see it's flying against the wind there and rotating. Okay, so this started the rotation of the tail sequence is probably random though. And you can see it's got little dots there. So obviously it connects there, and it's already lit up, and then it starts the sequence going downwards, and then it repeats again. So let's keep having a look at it. Does the hole get bigger every time it drops, or is it really constant? He kept it still. So it looks like it's not changing. When's the next drop? As you can see, the kite tail's quite long. It goes way down there. You can see it's quite a fair distance down when it disappears. So that's what we got. I think the hole stays constant here. And it drops it twice, is it? Down at the bottom. Now does it repeat again? No, it's still there. Does it repeat again? No. It's probably got a long repeat cycle. They purposely lit it up to look like a UFO, I reckon. And just the arrangement of the lights, it kind of looks like a saucer shape, doesn't it? Yeah. So I don't know if we can see the tail coming down here. But we'll just grab some images and run it through filters. Wrong one again. Okay, so alright, hasn't saved it yet. Alright, so we've got the zoomed in one. Is it going to give us anything different? Let's find out. You can see all the colours are here. That's giving us a wee bit more. Looks like it's reflecting off something coming down. CPU's playing up. Come on. Definitely something here and something there, eh? See that there? The two different colour circles. That would be the towel coming down probably, and that would be the rope. So it's reflecting some of the LED lights off stuff. Does that look like a string there at all? I'd say the string would be there, and there would be another one too, probably. So what's it reflecting off the bottom there? Piece of material. That's possible. Let's have a look. If I could remember what the kite name was called. They have different names for them. Lead kites. Go for a UFO shaped one. Let's see if anything pops up first. Okay, so we've got another one here. It's said to be a lead kite. Okay, that would be the tail, though. That's right. So here's some really black kites. You can see they're quite big. There's a guy standing next to it. Big strong gust of wind. You're going to have to be strong. There's one of the triangle kites. You can't see material, but it makes a UFO in the sky. But it's not that one. Okay, lead kite. We'll just float that in. Okay, can you now start to see some of these have big tails? Multiple tails to fit in with the critter or thing they're trying to make in the sky. Okay, so we're looking at something like this probably, with the long tail coming down. Butterfly? Nope, I don't think it's butterfly. So you can see how overexposed it is here, right? So we can't actually see any quite detail there. Of course, the Chinese are big into kites, right? Especially the dragon ones, dragons. But yeah, the guy that builds the kite down South America way, his one is a special kite, and I'm not sure you can buy them. He makes them himself. Probably have to dig up a one of the live shows I did where I had all the information. And of course, there's videos of some of these flying too. What's this one here? It's got the right shape happening. Could it be like a butterfly kite? It's possible. I'll just reset that. Just go back. Could it be an overexposed butterfly kite? Yeah, it kind of looks like it might have two wings, though. And you'd have a cable coming from here, from that wing, and that wing there, going down this way, and you'd have the tail coming down in the middle there for balance. And we sort of saw that it's possible it could be a butterfly kite, because we are seeing something else underneath here. See the funny lines we're getting here? Okay, you can see there's something coming down this way, cutting across. Looks like a kite tail, doesn't it, coming down here? We've just hit the right colour arrangement here of the blacks. Definitely looks like there might be something coming down this way. We'll just hit OK on that one. Looks like it's coming down there. Alright. There's something here reflecting. But it looks like there might be a kite string coming down. Oh, And of course a bit there, but it looks like there's something maybe reflecting off there, going down that way. But what is this thing up here? That's just not enough detail. Could be a butterfly, could be something somewhat similar to that. So there could be some material coming down. Let's try and change the colour there. Blue. So we've sort of got looks like maybe wings coming out here and up there. Well, maybe that's too far, but but it looks like there's some sort of material coming down here. Where it's reflecting. And these do have some sort of material that's coming down, see? There's the wings, but it's more likely to be this colour one. So, butterfly, possibly, butterfly lead kite. Or something like this one. Here's another one that could be. We've got some material coming down that we don't quite see. So what do you reckon on that? Any questions? What we got something here. Are you swearing again? Let's see. What was it? Oh yeah, you said shit. Yeah. I'll just catch up on your other side chat. It hasn't updated here. Yeah. I updated it on that one. Oh, here we go. This is a bit slow catching up. Chinese landing? No. As kids in the 80s, my mate Brett. Oh no, you're not Blake Cousins, are you? Attached LED lights and a 9-volt battery. 80s, yep. The first LEDs come out in 70s. That were coloured in white. 9-volt battery, yep. It flew them down the reserve, yep. Chinese armies use kites as spying. Yep. But that would have been like a man dangling on the bottom of it, would it? That's because they wouldn't have cameras. But now they can put cameras on and LEDs and have a bit of fun. They did use balloons. I think the Civil War used balloons as well, which makes them an easy target. Of course, they used hydrogen back then, not helium. So if a bullet went in, it could actually ignite it, and you come down in a burning flame. But if you had bullets going into a normal balloon, right, it would slowly leak and you'd come down if it's helium, because you can't ignite helium. It's an inert gas. They would have manned kite batteries in the sky, caustic kite strings. Well, now they've got RC kites where you don't need strings as well. These ones here, I think there's a video that I've used several times now that shows RC ones. But I think we're on the right track here. I think it's some sort of butterfly kite, overexposed. There goes a niggle in the throat again. Let's see. Need video. Where's the videos there? Kite Festival. Let's have a quick look at that one. I think that might be the one. 2020. There's a butterfly one up here. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah. Pretty cool stuff, huh? So you can see how long the kite tails are. It fits into the video quite nicely. So we probably could grab one of those and overlay it, maybe even. Oh, and there's some more UFOs. No, I don't want it too big. Might get copyright. So yeah, gives you a good idea. Some have got cables and some haven't. Like that one there. Probably the butterfly one. Starfish. Now you can see why they're really popular now. The kids would love that sort of stuff, right? But look how long that kite LED thing is. Now, if you turn that off in sequence for a second, program these, it would look like an orb was dropping from the UFO, right? But that's not the only UFO video where it could be a kite. A lot of them are targeting flares in war zones where they drop a bunch of flares that all ignite at the same time. It creates this big ball of light in the sky. But they're all coming down really, really slowly on parachutes. Especially from far away, they don't look like they're moving at all. And of course, ground guns shoot at the parachutes to make sure their guns are calibrated to hit airplanes. Especially in Ukraine, places like that, where some of these videos come from. And if they hit the parachute, obviously one's going to start drifting down further than the others. And if it keeps getting hit, obviously it's going to destroy the parachute completely and just shoot straight downwards. So some of those videos are targeting flares. You also get some of these targeting flares used off the coast in America. And also, obviously, if you got drug runners, they might shoot at the illumination flares, which light them up in the water, to try and hit the parachutes so they come down and get put out in the water while they're trying to get away in the darkness. So yeah, there's a few videos out there. I'll post a link to it so you can have a good watch of it anyway, and we'll move on from there, I think. Lead Kite Fest. So yeah, all these talking head UFO channels that don't add anything to it. Take one guess and get it wrong. What you got to do is make a list of things. So you could say flares, targeting flares. You could say Chinese lanterns, and the obvious things: aircraft formation, skydivers with LEDs on, skydivers with pyros on. That's another possibility, but I don't think that is in this case. Where they all come down, but eventually if that guy kept filming, which is also another suspect thing, right? Why did he stop filming? Normally if you think it's a UFO, you'd keep on filming, right? Or you get on the motorbike and try and get closer and then start filming again, and that sort of stuff. He must have known, I think. That's the problem with a lot of these guys in South America. Did they say whereabouts it was? I can't remember. Did they actually list it down here as a video? So they used to, right? They don't add the links to the videos anymore. See that? They just got lazy. You know, you often talk about Goof on and all that, saying, oh, we always provide the links, but they don't. Because it makes it easier to debunk if you got the source video. So whereabouts did they actually say where it was?
And roll the first clip right now, coming in from South America. Watch this.
South America, so it's pretty general. So yeah, it's just LED kite. And where's he filming it from here, though? It looks like trees there and clouds, right? But when he zoomed in, it looked like it was on a bridge. So let's just keep on going. Is he on a bridge, maybe? Okay, looks like it's filming through wire, which doesn't help. So what we thought was a bridge overhead, he's actually filming through wire.
Me contem o que vocês acham que é isso.
So he's on a bridge himself, I think. See that boom boom sound? It sounded like something going over a bridge. And that's about the length of the kite tail that we saw in those other videos. Here's one of the wires on the bridge he's filming through. There you go. Yeah, so... Well, why does it look like the city there now, though? Because before it looked like a lot of trees, didn't it? And what's this here? Can't quite zoom in. That's because my magnifier has stuffed up. Why does it do that? I don't know, but it's really annoying. Actually, I should maybe save it. Oh no. I'll just get rid of them. It's bound to be more we can add. I could use these close-ups for fun now anyway. Get rid of one of them. Okay, I just need to fix this magnifier up because we use it. It keeps losing admin rights. There's got to be a bug in Windows 10 security, I'd say. Last update. That's really annoying. Okay, back to normal. So what have we got here? Now we can zoom in. Does look like a suspension bridge, doesn't it? So he's on. What the hell is that there, though? Ah, some sort of metal bracket. Okay, reflecting light. Okay, we got buildings in the background. I'm just trying to see why it looked like clouds to start with. So did he change angles at some point? And he stopped the video, didn't he? That's the only trees and clouds, right? Definitely trees and clouds. There's no buildings there. Unless they're on this other side here. Might be some trees and goes into buildings, and then you see the rest of the thing. But it doesn't matter. He may have changed views. He may have moved along the bridge more. And then they zoom in. Okay, what's the next one? Let's look at the next one over here. Okay, so far that kind of looks like a Coca-Cola bottle balloon. And look, there's the pylon in the mist going. Well, very similar to the last one we looked at. Remember the pylon that was meant to be in the sky? If that was on a mountain top. In fact, that even looks like maybe an island with a lighthouse out there into sea there. Or a ship even. Not the best of videos, but that could be a hot air balloon, of course, Coca-Cola bottle, something like that. So let's have a look, see if it gets any better.
Check it out right now.
And they generally fly hot air balloons early in the morning, where there's no wind. Now, don't think it's a mirage.
So, broad daylight sightings, they don't get much better than this. And this is coming in from
I don't
Switzerland.
think it's a building. I don't think it's a building cloaked in fog here, although there's a lot of fog in this picture. It does look like a hot air balloon. Some sort of brand bottle, green bottle. I think we've seen this one before, haven't we? It almost looks like a milk bottle, doesn't it? But it'd be some sort of flavoured milk, maybe. You can see the basket would be at the bottom here. And you can only see these kind of details if you zoom in enough and you've got a good enough quality to start with. These guys generally don't zoom in because they know it'll give it away. But yeah, I think we've seen that balloon before. Although they can be tricky to find original images of them. Because there's so many out there. Hot air balloon. Green bottle. And they're used for advertising, you see, when they fly these things. The company pays them as well. So they make money from the passengers as well as the advertising. Hot air water bottle. Yeah, so let's have a look at the images. So there's a green bottle, but it's not that one. Because it looks more like a milk bottle of some kind. Like we get in New Zealand anyway. America probably has different shaped ones. With the handle on the side rather than no handle. So that's getting closer. But so you can see the handles on this side going around that way. Is it coming up? Where's my cursor there? Yep. So the handle's there. You can see the lid. It's got some sort of label on it here, a white bit. It's coming down to a basket down the bottom here. So something like that. You can see how big the basket is, right? So that's what we're looking at, something like that. But we've got a handle that comes out this side instead, you know. So it'd be more like a milk bottle. Let's see if that gives us something. Nope. I'll try this. What do these guys reckon? My G, what Windows you on? I'm on Windows 10. This is a telephone cable loop. Okay, plastic 2-litre milk bottle on a fishing line. Yeah, I think that's possible, but I think you'll find it's a hot air balloon. Hey, yep, buddy, blindy. Greetings from Dunedin. Dunners, hope you're doing okay. Yep, all pretty good today, thanks. So far we're working through some videos here, trying to see what they really are on these UFO channels. Because we know 99.9% of them are going to be mundane or mistaken identity. Because these guys don't put up any information, they don't do any analysis. So yeah. So let's put bottle of milk up first and see what we get. So we're looking at something like this here. I'm not sure if you get that in America. But we're looking at a green one with a white label at the top here. So it could be an energy drink or orange juice even, I guess. But using that type of bottle. And those ones are rotated so they're on the other side. So we could type in green. Let's see if there's any brand that's got green. Okay. Still white. So it could be flavoured milk, I suppose. It kind of looks green. Sometimes we can be mistaken by the colour. But it does look like it's got a green colour to it. It's just rotated enough around so you don't see the handle very well either. Someone will probably know what it is out there. But we won't spend too long on it because we've got a few things to go through. Green. Let's try flavoured milk, maybe. Chocolate. There's a green one. What flavour would that be? Lime? Yeah, probably lime. Chocolate will be the most popular. I suppose it could be even detergent in that type of bottle though, couldn't it? Well, yeah, you can see they do like the white one the most. People then see what's inside and how much is left, you know. So it's more likely to be something else than milk. But yeah, we'll leave it there anyway. We'll just carry on.
UFO video submitted from that region, but I'm glad we're looking at this right now. Again, the blown up image to the right and the original video to the left. This craft, whatever it is, it's massive. Some people might actually say that this resembles the Bell, the Hanabu. I might be butchering the name right now, but well, this is interesting. Is this maybe something that has been around for over a century, hidden in Switzerland, and it's revealing itself? What's your thoughts here?
Switzerland.
Yeah, this is a really good one.
I'm pretty sure I've debunked this one before.
This is very...
I think they're recycling the old video still. So one of my live streams, we have managed to get the brand name. I'm pretty sure of it. UFO Interest sometimes puts it up too on Twitter. Let's have a look. Secure Team also used this one, I think. So let's do a search here, see what comes up. Search hot air. Hot air balloon. UFO. You got to type in the strange formats. Doesn't make it easy for you, or of interest. Hey, looks like it's brought up some of mine. I thought we'd have more than... So this is another problem with Twitter. I'm pretty sure they archive it so much that you don't always get all the searches anymore. Balloon. See, that should be coming up. What's Uni Rock? UFO Interest. Maybe hot airs joined together, is it? Try that way. No results. See, I know he has lots of pictures of balloons, UFOs. And it's strange that it's not coming up. What have I done there? Let's type it in again. Hot air. No. That's just cobblers. Hot air. Okay, we'll try Swiss. Swiss. Can't be too many of that. Okay, Swiss. Billy Meyer. It's not working. Top latest people. Now he comes up here. And there. And that's all we got. Yeah, I reckon they've removed them. Top searches. Estes Cobblers. People. Photographs. Videos. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. How about Switzerland? We'll try that. Switzerland. Spell it right. Switzerland. That's garbage. I know I've spelled it wrong, have I? So it's got no intelligence like Google. It says, oh, did you mean this spelling? It doesn't even give you that option. All the money these billionaires make, and they just don't make the system any better. So yeah, this is where Twitter is useless. I know he did have it up. I bet if you type in balloon, we'll probably get a lot of Milo ones thrown in. But where's all UFO interest ones? I think they've screwed up something, haven't they? Here's one. What's that one? Balloon car. Oh, this is terrible. Unless they're limiting your search, unless you're logged in now. I wonder if they're doing something nasty like that. I bet they are. That might be it. So it's coming up with all other balloons. Balloons. But we're at the hot air ones. That's just rubbish. Well, at least it's found more now. I knew balloons would be one that produces lots of results. But then again, the location could be completely wrong. They could say it's Switzerland, but it's actually in Denmark or somewhere like that. And that's another thing we've found out with UFO channels. So there's a balloon UFO of all things. Yeah, it's got a TEFA that goes down the middle here. It's used for advertising, outside shops. And sometimes that snaps off and floats away. Causes a mass UFO sighting event. But yeah, looks like there's going to be hundreds of these. But not what we're after. Okay, so anyway, we'll just mosey on. I thought it'd be easy find, but it's not.
Representative of what people have seen across the world. The Hanabu, they call it the Glock, and could this be it? We're seeing this nice picture quality right now, and it's a great shot. We're seeing it hovering above the valley and the homes there. It's very unique, this shape, and we don't really see a gondola, so I'm ruling out this is a manned balloon. What we're seeing is something different, and it just stays static right there. It's a very curious shot. What's your thoughts in the chat right now of what this is? I'm going to put this on the top 10 list this month on the...
Yeah, so it's Swiss hot air balloon. It has been debunked before, but we just can't find the information on Twitter because it's terrible at searching. This one coming up, it looks familiar.
That so we put up. That's
I think they're recycling from years and years ago.
Let's get to this next one. Pretty incredible stuff coming out of South America. An active volcano known as Popocatépetl. I might be butchering it, but take a look at this. An incredible triangular-shaped craft that seems to be...
To me, that looks like a moth close to the camera.
Caught in a time from the webcams to Mexico that's keeping an eye on the mountain and the activity, but captured something that looks to be... that
looks like a butterfly or moth. We know they do go up quite high, moths and butterflies. Let's see. So that's in Mexico, wasn't it? Mexican volcano. I know a lot of butterflies do come from down South America and head across to North America. Mexican moths altitude. Let's start with that one. And they can be quite big, some of these things as well. Altitude. What bat flies the highest? Well, while we're here, let's look that up. 160 kilometers per hour. And it doesn't say the altitude there. Now, bugs can fly quite high. 6,000 feet. So what's that in miles? 5 miles, is it? We work in kilometers here, and not feet. Meters and kilometers. Feet to miles. So they can go up to 1.2 miles, approximately. Bugs. But I'm pretty sure butterflies can go higher. 10,000 feet seems to ring a bell in previous episode. Some new research come in. Let's try butterflies. Highest altitude. Might even be 20,000 feet. So I know they've been up to plane levels anyway. Here you go. Let's see what that says. The glider pilots have reported monarchs flying at high as 11,000 feet. So there you go. The information's been updated. So how high would that volcano be? That would be up that altitude, wouldn't it? Studies have shown there are several species of locusts that can fly up to and the height of 15,000 feet. However, several species of flies and butterflies can reach up to higher altitude of almost 20,000 feet. There you go. So what are we seeing here? I think we got obviously caught on one frame only because
the TR3B that indicates itself for a flash of
TR3B. So let's just run that through editor anyway so we can see it better. Looks like they're not going to zoom in for us. So is it a monarch butterfly? Does it fit a monarch butterfly is what we want to know. Okay. It's a wee bit slow. Hey Dan, how's it going? We're here to solve the mysteries of UFOs. We've got a fair bit to cover too still, but I'll speed it up as we go, hopefully. Let's resize that. Proportional. Now, possibilities list there for UFO. A kite is one, a hang glider. Possibly a drone, maybe. RC type drone. Moth, butterfly. TR3B would be way down on the list on the possibilities there. Let's run it through some color curves, color swap, I mean, and see if we get a more detail pop out. Looks like it's got something going down the middle here. And you can start to see compression artifacts around the outside. Certainly looks like there's something coming down the middle here. And it kind of looks more curvy wing now. If we get rid of the compression artifacts and overexposure, it certainly looks rectangle there and curvy bits there. So yeah, it still doesn't rule out quite a few things on the list there. It could be a kite still. Could be a RC kite, could be a moth, could be a butterfly still. Kind of look like a face there at the for a minute. CPU's mucking around. Come on, I'll just reset it again. That's quite interesting. You can see it's more reflective over this side than this side here. More light's coming from this way. And you don't see that in the picture. Actually, more light might be on this side. We've reversed it. It might be darker this side, I should say. But yeah. Can't really do much more of that, I don't think. And we do some sharpening. It may bring out some definite shape. But it'll introduce some artifacts, which Mick West has talked about, which is this whiteness that pops around the outside of an object to make it stand out. Would be good if we could see some wings, some legs, wings and antennae, and then that we could say it was definitely an insect then. I don't think it's a bird, but I don't think it's a alien craft. So what do you guys think? If it's a moth, it would be a Miller. Could be any ones down there though. Generally 5,000 feet or less, so definitely within range of insects, right near a cam. Hello again, Garrett. How's it going? I feel less awkward having other people in the comments talking. It was all of me the other day. Yeah, not the most popular UFO channel because I debunk. And I try and do it real time here. So we're sort of data collecting at this stage until more information comes in, unless it's really obvious. But this thing here, it's a bit hard to narrow down. It could be a kite. Would they be flying a kite at 5,000 feet though? So if we had a video, we could then have a lot more clues. But I think that's all we got.
During the webcam's live shot of the volcano itself. Brent, what is this?
Yeah, Blake, Popocatépetl has been a hot spot for such a long time. We've been receiving UFO videos from that region over a decade, and this is one of the most fascinating ones I've seen in a long time. You recognize, like Blake just said, this looks like a TR-3B just perched above the volcano over there, and then the next frame, these are photos by the way, and then the next frame it's gone. So what we're seeing is a progression of photos.
So that's more likely to be a smaller object closer to the camera and time. The next snap is, which is normally every second, I think. Depends on if it's using an internal memory card or it's transmitted via Wi-Fi to a base station somewhere. Obviously it's transmitting it via 5G or something. It's probably live, right, to the airports or whatever. And then they feed it off to the internet for the public as well. Still could be a hang glider. Wouldn't rule it out. But yeah, not much we can do with that one. It's more natural, man-made than alien.
And now this object is there, and the next thing it's non-existent. What is this that we're looking at? I estimate the size to be huge. I would almost say
so it looks like a little small object close to the camera to me. Just the fact by the lighting itself is my reason. You can see how much light here is in the background. If that was up in the sky near the volcano, or even heading towards it, I'd expect some of the sunlight to illuminate this a wee bit better if it was a larger object. Yeah, not much.
2 football fields in length, and it's just staying there. It's black, and it does resemble the TR-3B. What's going on with these craft around these volcanoes?
This one exactly is a craft, because a lot of these anomalies,
I noticed it's got a white line
captured
here
around these volcanoes in South America, tend.
I can see there's a line of light here. Is that a break in the cloud? Certainly changed the cloud back in there a wee bit, didn't it?
To be orbs or flashing lights, which is fantastic. You see them entering and exiting the crater itself, but this one has structure, and for moments.
Okay, so that's before.
In this time-lapse photo.
And after, you can see here, almost looks like a square line happening there. So let's just grab some of that and see what that's showing there. Might give us a clue what's going on. I should save that one this time. Just save it back to the original. Yeah, you can spend ages on these, of course. Oh, I didn't want to do a layer. I want a new image. I have to add it, don't I? Yeah, so what's this line that seems to be behind it here? Is it just where the cloud has started to break up? Or is it like a contrail? Oh, there we go. I think it looks like the cloud was just about to break up a wee bit. I think it looked like a contrail there for a minute. But yeah, it's not a straight line going across now. Let's try colour swap on it. And that might show us something. Let's see if the CPU is going to play ball with me. Okay, you can see here, it's definitely not a straight line or contrail. It's definitely part of the cloud system. And we've got a lot of pixelization from the actual camera sensor. Hence, might have some roll and shutter effect here too. Looks like a roll and shutter there, almost. There's certainly a line going there. That's the problem. A lot of these cameras are CMOS and they suffer a lot of speed problems, you know, and they're getting better. The sensors are getting better. Does look like there's a change in color here. See that line there? See, it looks like a line, like a scan line. It looks like maybe there was a slight sudden change in the background brightness, and that's showing up the rolling shutter as it's going across. A bit like a lightning flash, right? It's scanning this way. Anyway, enough on that one. On to the next one. Any other comments? Oh. Might be cloud parallax, bug smear. Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's just the filters actually give us a lot of clues. So
the sequence captured by webcams to Mexico. You see something that indicates like a trail behind it as it comes into frame. What's the meta propulsion behind this?
Well, no, meta propulsion now. These guys are going off into the wild fantasy land. How many views did they get on this one? 43,000 views, eh? So many likes on this video, and already we've debunked most of it. Well, all of it actually, haven't we? What's some of the comments here? Shit, Blake, you can't tell E.T. is dumping his septic tank. That was the first one with the lead kite. Billy Meyer, spelt wrong, took his famous pictures in Switzerland. Yep, a piece of fishing line strung between two trees over a great distance, actually. There weren't trees very close together. So you could get to the right effects when he was filming them with one arm. Some were close, of course. And then you got the miniature models that he did as well. A combination of things he used. He doesn't know what to think about the channel. Rubbish! That TR3 wasn't perched. Eh? It was moving. If you go back forth the 2 clicks, you see the trail it leads through the clouds. Yeah, it's only an optical illusion though, we found out. It's more light breaking through the clouds. That's exactly a second later. And some roller shutter effect there. My compliments to your dealing with these matters. Chemtrails, no. Chinese lanterns, no. Golden Knight skydivers, I did put that on the list, but no, wasn't them. In my professional opinion, of course. Great show. So no one's really picked up anything different than we have here, but they're saying all sorts of crazy things.
Something that we have in our assets is this.
Okay, next one. Recycled
I
again.
gave permission to share this on last night's episode, and we're going to look at it a little closer because whatever was captured way up in the sky is absolutely incredible.
This looked like a missile flare dump practice. You can see all the flare drips coming down. You know, something like this. And just close that one down. That one. Let's go to the next one. Missile anti-flares. Anti-missile flares. Missile flares, I say. Okay. Countermeasures. So it's going to be something like this one here, but more like this one underneath. So if you drop all those and they come down to a big curtain, if we got some pictures of it front on, maybe we can find one that's going to match. Helicopters even do it, do I? Looks like that one's been hit by a missile though. That one's going down. Does look a bit like that one there. And if you make it blurry at night time, I think that's about all we got. We didn't get precisely the one we wanted, but it gives us some ideas. Okay. And the other possibilities for that, possibly some natural phenomenon with ice crystals, and maybe the setting sun through a cloud layer as another possibility. We'll just keep on watching.
Along the edges of the...
Okay, you can now see at the bottom here the flares dropping below. So it could even be some sort of festival where they've got a flying kite, where they've got pyrotechnics on it. Which they do in Asian countries.
The cube itself, it's way up there in the sky. Some people might have thought that it could have been a...
So why can't they see this dripping down, right? You can see they're purposely trying to stay away from what it actually is.
Reflection from within a window, but we could see this video shows and indicates that it's way up there. So what it is the question, and hopefully we can get some answers, because right now I'm stumped, and I want to get your guys' opinion in this live premiere right now, because this thing's crazy, and it's kind of spooky too.
So we got lights happening as well, which sort of seem to be airplane lights. So could that be lights of the plane flying away? And you got the red light on the left wing, and you got the green light on the right wing, so it's flying away.
What's going on? Is this maybe a weather anomaly or something up there in the sky that has some structural integrity that's just kind of...
So it's some sort of military exercise. Okay, so let's just move on. I think the plane lights at the end there gave it away. What do you think down here? Very hang glidely. You talked about the other one. Oh, Miller, I mean. Yeah, I forgot to look that up. It's Miller Moth. It could be. It could be. Cloud Power X. Yeah, we went through that one. Too damn long. What my live shows. They are live debunks, but they do cover all the UFO videos, and so I'll probably be adding chapters to break it up. Why can't third phase of the loon just go away? Because people watch them. So it's simple, and they donate them lots of money. You do know they make millions of dollars. If Tyler can come back and make $20,000 a month off his fan base after he losing probably 1/5 of them, he's still doing pretty better than most of us here that are struggling to do live shows. So yeah, selling fantasy and bullshit makes money, and this is why I got into the field. First of all, I started watching these guys too, and I thought, nah, it can't be that much happening in the skies. Some of this has got to be obviously mundane. And then I saw Tyler's one with the P67 comment talking about structures on it from a leak from NASA or somewhere like that, and I thought, this sounds interesting. Is it really true? Is he going to show us the email headers and stuff like that? Never happened. So I come very suspect from that one onwards, and then other ones come out, and I think it was the Texas pencil sharpener one that came out next, and then the Cube one, and then suddenly this woman got interviewed for the Cube one, which to me, and the way they were talking, it sounded very scripted, and I was suspicious that it was possibly his wife. So I still think that, and if I can get a voice print, I will prove it. So if she ever goes on his video, let me know and talks, because we want some voice prints, and then we can do some technical analysis on it. But yeah, he's really been caught out faking lots of interview ones, which I've pointed out already on my channel, and he shouldn't be operating. And again, I think it's Google is the problem. Google is the enabler of these guys. If they didn't have monetization, they wouldn't have side chats for donations. They'd have to use alternative system. And Google doesn't want to lose out on the donation side of things, or 30% that they take. So, Google morally sound? No, they're not. They know that these guys are frauds and hoaxes on their network, but they make lots of millions of dollars from them. Especially when they get into UK rags and cable network. My opinion of Manual Cream 10. On BitChute, my handle on there is Casualty Violation. Yeah, I've got the BitChute account, as you can see. My stats are going up slowly, but very slowly. Was going up quite fast at one stage. YouTube stats keep going backwards for some reason, while all the other ones are going forward. Rumble was shooting off lately. But yeah, more and more videos you add, more and more seems to get noticed, and can only hope. Eventually my channel is about waking up people and actually doing the serious research, and if we can get rid of the noise, we can then focus on more of the research side of things, looking at connections, like I was trying to do with the maps of the impact craters and magnetic anomalies and locations in America, which I'm still yet to complete more of the map there. So that'll be coming up in the week, hopefully, or the weekend. We'll see how we go.
Very unique. And I said earlier, like, could this be the top 10? These might be a tie right here with this unique sighting right here.
As far as this month, they're really close, Brett. And this was kind of, I haven't seen something like this.
Okay, let's just
maybe
see
we won't. That's some of the history. And
so that was that. Do I bother doing any more of these? I think we've all suffered enough of these at the moment, haven't we? So we got to that one there. I don't think there's anything else. Ancient aliens new. Okay, so they're talking about more Google Earth photos where you see matrixing of things. Again, it's going to be stupid stuff from stitching errors. Yeah, let's just have a quick look.
It resembles.
So what are we looking at here? Now, I want a far away shot to see which way the wind build-up is happening. You know, you can see here, it looks like it's this side, where the wind comes down this way mostly. And it just takes a little mound of rock to form these straight lines.
Something triangular.
I like what
worked around with the colour here, but inverted it or something. Now, are we looking at a stitching error? Remember I was talking about the triangle shapes you're getting depending which way the satellite was going at the time. Again, it's a bit hard to tell. Remember, because we get a lot of straight edges in ice, and the razor sharp peaks they get there down Antarctica because of the wind and the carving off the snow hitting it, or ice hitting it all the time. Ice generally creates these sharp edges as well, laid on top. If that's a pyramid, right, or a craft, they're saying this is a craft under the snow here, are they? I think that's probably where they're going to go.
Too thin air.
That it's buried like a Delta crash plane or flying saucer. So yeah, it's a good fantasy, but you can see here with the carving of the other snow things here that this can't be a wing of a plane, because look, it's got the same indentations outside of the wing. You know, it's got the same depth to it. You can see the shadows, so that can't be a wing. So it only looks like it's going to be little bits of rock here. Just our minds are seeing shapes, that's all. And you got that line going straight down here. It's amazing what people spend their life looking on. Low res, high altitude, high res images. No good without having street view location, right? They're saying this is like a little building next to it, is it? So let's see what we can do with that one. Again, that looks like a little ice lake. That could be ice. That could be a crack here with some ice in it.
He actually did some contrast.
That could be a little lake there with 3 blobs of rock with ice covering, snow covering, I mean, going that way. Unfortunately I have to zoom out to get the cursor back. Let's see. So it looks like 3 blobs of rock, a peak of a rock here, and a little ice lake here. So I suppose that's what they talk about for the whole video, is it? Let's have a quick look. Oh no. Oh yes. And they're all going to have the say on it, are they? Oh no, underground bases.
It has just been revealed just about 4 years ago. First time President Obama actually named Area 51 is the first time ever. Now we're looking.
They're talking about that Stargate one, which basically, if you turn on the layers like they did, someone's done an interpretation of a 3D model of it, which is clearly wrong. And they're just using it. This one here, this is where the 3D model comes in. It's clearly wrong. And it's really just for radio dishes. And this thing here that they're interpreting as a big round hoop thing, I think it's just wrong. That it's actually a building there, maybe a couple poles, maybe, and shadow play if you look at the overhead. So anyone can submit that sort of layers, and it adds it to the Google Earth, right? Doesn't necessarily mean it's right. But anyway, they're just repeating the same old garbage. So that was 3 months ago now, wasn't it, the Stargate one? And what's this one here?
Tonight, the highly anticipated report on...
Maybe the world can change overnight. Some people say the world's not ready for it. We can't handle the truth, but...
Okay, so they're in Washington, D.C. now, are they? They were in Arizona before, interviewing people. Probably for the Amazon features they do, where they make more money from it. So you can see he's got lipstick on there. So I want to know, is he a closet gay? He comes across as a typical gay man to me. How many twins are gay? I know his brother's not, because his brother's got a son. But yeah, long hair.
We haven't seen anything good, but are they going
to... I suspect he might be a closet
release
gay.
Something behind me? Is it in Biden's hands in regards to the UFO disclosure, or is it up to us?
Because I've never seen him with any female, you know. You'd say, oh, this is my girlfriend at some time in the years now, wouldn't you? If you're... These people like attention, attention seekers. I'm not attention seeker. I don't like to be on camera. I do more clever stuff. I program stuff like a speaking Mr. Grey up there. These guys couldn't program to save their lives. If they had saw a movie, program something to turn the lock, these guys would be sliced and diced. They're just actors. If you ever see this stuff around the web, they always lift themselves as producers, directors, actors. And that's from day one. Everybody should be suspicious. And I think his brother was listed as an FX expert, which means he must have been playing around with Adobe After Effects and a lot of those fake videos that we saw. Okay, and Tyler Clotner exactly saying, very early thing you can find on the web is him advertising to be an actor, work in the movie industry behind the scenes or that sort of stuff, script writer and model. He fancies himself. And who else likes to be on the big screen of things? If you can find information out on their background.
So is the information in regards to the UFO phenomenon to the public. Lockdown. Is this what's going to continue, or are we going to see something different in the future?
Yeah, so it's a nothing burger, this one, isn't it? Oh, what did I just click? I clicked that horrible thing. What's the point of that? That's just so stupid. They got too many stupid things you can click now. So what's this one here? I think we debunked that last time, didn't we? Oh, I must have missed it. No, it doesn't matter. I think we have. Okay, on for the show of another channel. So, where do we start? Okay, what's this one here? We only got an hour left, maximum. Comical alliance between two rascals, Maussen and URZI. URZI. What's that you say your name? UFO ring shaped over Milano. No, it's just a catatopic lens. Okay, so I thought this was interesting. Something I haven't come across before. Have we got a picture of this ring? Oh, here it is here. See that there? Up here. So I'll see if I can zoom in on it. No. It goes off to the side. There we go, that's not too bad. Yeah, it kind of looks like a smoke ring, doesn't it? But more perfect. And of course they're saying it is a UFO. And that's UFO. Isn't he a known faker? I think he is, isn't he? You could probably put his name in. But he spelled it with a S instead of a Z there. UFO Hoaxer. Yeah. That's probably not how you spell his name. Have I got the right? Got the right spelling again? URZI. Sounds like an abbreviation, doesn't it? Seems to ring a bell. I'm just trying to think what his other name was. The making of the ultimate fake UFO video. Wired. Okay, let's have a quick look at that one. Is it the same guy, or are they talking about someone else? Oh, right, that one. So that's 3D CGI. Pretty clever what they can do now. But let's see where that guy's name was. Let's put it in quotes. That means it must be in the text that we find. Okay, here we go. UFO TV presents. The skies of Italy. How it's done book. Yeah, I think he was a hoaxer. You have to download the book. Oh, that's his first name, isn't it? Antonio USC. Modern day Adamski technique revealed. Okay, so as soon as you know someone's caught in a hoaxing, that means all the videos that come out after that are going to be suspect, and one of those people is Tyler Clockner, who's been caught in many hoaxes, but still people watch because they don't know. He hasn't put up a video saying he's been found out on his channel that he hoaxed these and he's coming clean. No, he's never done any such thing. What's this one? Pilot spots cube sphere like UFO. That looks like something else. So where's his original video then? There's too much crap there. Reddit. But yeah, there we go. We've got some references to hoaxing anyway. Alright, you can see these used models and fishing wire, right? Copied probably Billy Meyer. Yep. Buddy Meyer, copycat. Anyway, now we know he's a hoaxer. We can go back to this one. And we can see this one here, effect. How did he do it? Obviously it wasn't done through a model. And Scott Brown reckons it's done through this thing here. Catadioptric system. It's quite an unusual lens. I haven't come across it before. So I thought I'd bring it up and mention it. Because we may come across it. So it's not widely used now. Light path. Just trying to find some pictures. Here's one here. And here's some of the shapes it makes. It looks really similar to that picture. Sample is iris blur or broken Bokeh produced by the thing. So it's like a hole cut and the rest of it covered. So it's the same as that Core Bell video. So that's another name for it. Here we go. Look. There we go. Pictures of the camera. But obviously it's not actually to make a bokeh though, it's just to do with the focusing of distant light, I think. And if you use it incorrectly, you can produce a UFO effect. So let's see what it says in the blurb. I will post a link to it anyway, if anyone that wants to learn this sort of stuff. I don't actually own a camera myself. All my learning's from technical papers online and this sort of stuff. So one day I might be able to afford a P1000 to play with, but I've got a smartphone and that's about it. And I know the limitations of them is pretty bad, especially if you keep playing around with each generation that comes out. It's getting a wee bit better. Like you can take a picture of the moon, it's not so overexposed as the early cameras were. And it's got a bit more. The thing with the iPhone, Apple iPhone, is they haven't updated their hardware in the phone for many years, but they've updated the software, the firmware for the camera, and they use a lot of artificial intelligence software now. So the camera itself can actually look at the image that's been photographed, and it actually looks in chunks of it, like a stitching thing that NASA uses. It looks at chunks and it can enhance it in different ways to make the whole picture look the best possible for low light or whatever. So that's why the Apple iPhone is still up there, but they haven't updated the megapixels and all that sort of stuff. I suppose they will eventually with the new phones coming out, but they're still trying to keep the costs down for the camera side of things, where other manufacturers bring out the best shebang camera system. So what's this used for? One where it uses refraction and reflection are combined into an optical system, usually via lenses and a curved mirrors called cat optics tricks. Cat optics. Yes, it's a strange word. I don't know if we can say it or not. It's not going to do this. I haven't selected it right. Damn it. Are used in focusing systems such as searchlights. Right, I know I've seen it in searchlights. What's it allow it to do? Headlamps and early lighthouses focusing system. So you can create a really dense beam, right? Of all the light centralized. Telephoto lenses. Uses less lenses, and mirrors also referred to as catadioptric. Surveillance sensors. So I suppose it can increase the light, background light, by using this system. But it's not used anymore, I don't think. Obviously, frauds have found it and decided to make fake UFOs with it. Yeah, so there's a bit of reading there. But there's the thing in the middle where it's bouncing the light off and it condenses it at that point. It's kind of clever, I suppose. Anyway, just come across it the other day and I thought, oh yeah, I'll just share that. But this is why this guy and his so-called science experts joke. And of course he's always promoting fraud, isn't he? So no wonder he's working with Third Phase. Right, here's some more pictures of the lens. Okay. There's one adds onto a regular camera. And that's about it. Right, there's the bokeh one effect. If you use it wrong. Yes, yeah. Here's one using multiple mirrors to really amplify it. I suppose they could use that on those survival torches to create a really dense beam, like a magnifier thing for starting fires, right? Yeah, right. Moving on. Buckle up. Someone's stolen Third Phase's thing, or did they steal it from this crowd? Okay, what's happening here? Buckle up. SpaceX astronauts have 2 near misses with space debris. Okay, I thought this was quite interesting. I'll just make it full screen. Hang on, I've got some comments coming in. Okay. Yeah, try and avoid the swear words because I do get holed up and I haven't got any mods with me at the moment. I know for sure is that some speculation has been going on. Anyone who claims they know the truth is an arrogant bum. No, we're here always researching and trying to get to the truth. We don't know the truth, that's for sure. At least as far as people like Secure Team go, yep. That's for sure. I still occasionally watch this channel and he blocked me. He blocks anyone that sort of exposes him, of course. But yeah, this is quite good, so I'll just open this up. I'm not sure if Third Phase had it on. I think they might have. What's going on? Did I get sabotaged there? No? Those sounds. Okay. So the astronauts are in. Arriving at the space station, is it? Why are they taking so long to get to the parts? I'll just skim it. Oh, here we go, they're separating. And then this blob of space debris comes through. Where's it from? I don't know. But you can see, okay, it's not going to let us pause it. But if you watch it carefully, you can see it's rotating like space junk. Now we can see ice crystals coming off, going all sorts of directions. And this thing comes straight off the edge here. I'm not sure if we can get it at a spot where it's rotating. I need to slow it right down. Here we go. See how it's tumbling? That's definitely a piece of space junk, isn't it? Crazy, you've gone to the side of it and killed the whole lot of them. So that's why they track debris in space. But you can see all the particles that come off when they separate there. Let's just have a quick look at that again. I see something comes off here. See that there was something that shoots off there. Now, could it be part of this capsule that shoots off and it sort of bends around and comes back again? And it looks bigger than it is. You can just see it happen. I don't know if there's an original video out there that we can grab instead. Yeah, it does look like a physical object though when it's slowed down though, like it's reflecting light off the top of it here. But it looks like something that come off here. I'm not sure how big it is. Let's see. They're not showing us properly. When it separates here. So look down the corner here. You see a little similar object break off here. Do you see that? As soon as it blew apart, it's like a bolt or something shot off that way. And then come back at us. So yeah, it might be just that then. So I've only just noticed that, but I thought it was an interesting video. Which comes up to the other stuff we're going to look at, hopefully, if we don't run out of time again. Hurdles past Falcon 9. Okay, so that's to do with Nocturnal News. So let's have a look at this.
UFO, who knows anymore, right?
Okay, let's have a look.
Show it again. Okay, you'll see the object coming in bottom left-hand corner. And also, I want to mention, the Falcon 9, it launched out of Florida, Cape Canaveral, and it landed back in Florida, so very cool. But again, at the time the fairing doors, blew off the second stage rocket, they were thousands and thousands of miles apart, and both of them, speeding apart like two speeding bullets, going opposite directions. So
yeah, so we need to come back to that because that's the best close-up he gives us. But yeah.
From stage 2 of the Falcon 9. Okay, now a lot of people out there, lazy debunkers, they claim, well, no, you're looking at the fairing doors. Basically,
so lazy debunkers, I don't know who he's talking about being lazy. I'm far from lazy if he's talking about me. So what are the fairing doors? I've got some images already up here. Because I looked into it, researching it, and there's a fairing door, right? And of course, if it was a fairing door, it's quite big, and you'd have to be looking down from it, that angle this way, which I couldn't find an image of. And these are the fairing doors, and they blow off and uncover the payload. You might remember the first one of the heavy launcher, was it? Here's the Tesla car in front of this rocket. Was it the Falcon 9 or Falcon Heavy? Yeah, Falcon Heavy, that one was. It's amazing how big these covers are for that one. But that's fairing doors, yeah, for the Heavy. And you can see a close-up picture here, how much space they got in there to put payload in. Which they're going to be using for Mars, I think, isn't it? So it's enough to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Tesla cars in, probably. So now we know what he's talking about, the fairing doors, as those things. Yeah, we'll come back to that. There's the Falcon 9, a lot smaller. Its payloads are mostly satellites, but still, a few humans can fit inside it. Now, is it the fairing doors? I don't think so myself, but let's have a look.
You have the Falcon 9 on the bottom, and then you have stage 2 on top. Okay, and then above.
Okay, so we can see straight away it's half cut, right? And it's black and white. It's black inside, but like the fairing doors are, and it's got white lines coming through it. So I can see why the lazy debunkers could pick that as a possibility for this here.
Above that, you have the satellites.
But can we see that it matches completely? It doesn't, does it? So that should go across to there. Now let's just grab that and enhance it and go from there. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to identify this one because I did do some research on it previously. And I wasn't able to get enough images of the Falcon 9 pieces, how it's assembled, because obviously a lot of it's going to be top secret. Looks like a bubble from space, the real. Now, I've talked about space bubbles before. There are things called space bubbles. Because when you leak ice into the atmosphere through the engines as well as from the spacesuits, they do leak and do have water leaks. They're cooled off by a second layer of water. Radiation can actually penetrate the ice crystal and cause it to form hydrogen and oxygen bubbles in the ice, and eventually they will bubble and pop, and sometimes you see that on camera. So these people saying it's underwater, no, but ice crystals and water in space is correct, because that's one of the byproducts, and gases of course. But I've gone over that before, space bubbles. If you want to search on that word, you can go and watch the video on that. But you can see this is definitely fits all the colour requirements of the SpaceX here. It looks like it might have the flat edge on it, which obviously goes around maybe inside the fairing doors, like some sort of pattern. Or it might be part of the payload that it had inside. It might have a sort of like a brace that holds it into place, and that might be part of the brace that was meant to stay within the fairing doors itself, but probably broke away and did a near miss underneath the space flight here. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's some sort of a clamp for maybe a payload of a Starlink satellite. But anyway, we got an image of it, and we'll need to run it through some processing. Did I save it? Not. I've stuffed up. Was that one? No. I thought I saved it. Temp. Oh right, I haven't saved it yet. Here it is. It's waiting for me to give it a name. Save it. There we go. Let's go back. And that should be that one. And we'll open it up. And see what we can see better with some filters, which he doesn't do. You can see it's out of focus, so obviously it's way below the spacecraft. It was probably quite big, that being a UFO, half-size wedge. It's very unlikely, isn't it? Especially when it sort of matches the colours of the SpaceX and all that. Certainly would be a funny shaped UFO. Okay, so first of all, let's try to do some sharpening. Come on. And it's starting to get a bit more clearer now, isn't it? It looks like there's a little bit sticking out here. But it's probably the best we're going to get. overexposed a bit there. You see now we've got some light reflecting off here. Certainly looks less like a UFO. So let's draw a circle around that and see if it's symmetrical. Go with white. There's no way to lock aspect, is there, on this? We'll just have to use the eye. Looks like a circle. It's got the right curvature here. So you can see that doesn't sort of look like a symmetrical thing even. So that kind of suggests that some sort of packing used inside the nose cone of the fairing doors. Now we could make it an oval shape to match it. And it's sort of going off track here, so it doesn't quite match. We could shrink it down a bit this way, I suppose. So it matches in there, but now it's not matching over here. So, but it doesn't sort of match the edge of this one. So we know that the nose cone of the spacecraft is not an oval shape. So, but doesn't mean it's not packing. That goes inside. Kind of looks like maybe that went around the satellite inside here. And that looks like part of the brackets maybe down here. So let's just have a quick look at this again. Frame by frame. Let's get going the other way. Shame we can't see what the other part of it is. Now it's paused it. And it's going that way. Okay, so this looks like there's something sticking out from the top half of the spacecraft. So now we can say that part here looks like it's part of the spacecraft, and it's out of focus, whatever it is. So that's not part of the same object, and we can see it here. So how much more of this image is part of what's happened? Oop. Pushed the wrong button. Are we still going? Sometimes I press the wrong button, it sort of interrupts the stream. Because it uses CPU. Okay, looks like we're back again. So let's see, how's it moving? Have I stuffed it up now? We had it working before. I think he might have paused it. No, he has. He's paused it, the rotor. Now it's zooming out again. We want it to go in the other direction. We'll just skim to his 4-minute bit. So,
important thing of the video. Okay, right here.
Okay, now he's got the fairing doors opening from the top view. Okay, so let's go back a bit on that. So that's looking at the top of the rocket.
Very thorough, very detailed and meticulous in what I do. You know, so hopefully you guys appreciate the hard work.
Okay, so we got a payload in there, but we can't see much of it. But you can see the other end of the store is there. So we need to look at it from the other perspective, the other side, which is what's in the video possibly, is what people are saying. But I'm saying it's more likely to be something that goes around here in a oval for the satellite payload. And we're looking down on a satellite here. So something's got to be holding this into place, right? Okay, let's have a look at this one. Looks like there's something going across here. Looks like there's something going across there, which we didn't see in the other frame. And I think there's something sticking off the bottom of the spaceship that we're seeing the reflection of here, that we saw in one of the frames. So there's a little post or something sticking out here. It's very hard to interpret it, but I might get there. It could be rotate. That might not be rotating. That may be the spaceship itself is rotating. There's another possibility here. Or a combination of both. I think over here moved a bit. I can see slight movement happen. So I think they're both moving. Yeah, you can see the clouds underneath moving. Definitely looks like something coming across here. It's got to be some sort of clamp. Space debris. That's about the best we can say, really.
It is a UFO.
I suppose you can call it UFO space junk. But yeah, I just wanted to look into that one, see if we could solve it. So yeah, I'm agreeing with NN on this one that it's not the doors, but something else. So I did do a good search around to see if I can pin it. But you can see how much space is in these damn things. They could put a lot up there. And that's the nose cone of it here, but that's in the heavy one, not the Falcon 9, unfortunately. I was trying to find one that actually had similar view of the Falcon 9. As you can see, I put Falcon 9 there, but it still gives the heavy one. Anyway, no point in wasting time on that one. And go back out. Oh, actually, that's where the other video come in. Go back to his main page. Okay, so there's the one that I had originally with the third phase of the moon got as well. So we'll start with this one here. Okay, so that might be the last bit I did, was it? Oh no, you did a pyramid one too. Water and space, yeah, we need to come back to that. I've got 15 minutes.
Copy all. We just clarified. It's with you. Thank you.
I think it's a bit loud, isn't it?
Did you do anything as part of source maintenance? I mean, in addition to what you already reported, did you do anything as part of source maintenance? I mean, in addition to what you already reported, did you do anything as part of source maintenance?
So he's trying to suggest this is a UFO. You might recall that the city lights, we've covered it quite a few times now. This looks like some sort of weird coloration of the city lights below on planet F, as the space station. So he sort of ruined this one with music.
I mean, in addition to what you already...
See, that looks like an edge of a coastline here. Or possibly a bunch of boats on the ocean. You can see how it flickers through the atmosphere here, which is generally nice. You know, city lights from the International Space Station. Now, if you crop it off, okay, so someone's put up a video here. Is it alright to use it? City lights, 8K view from. So these ones are trying to get money for their footage. City lights from space. Let's have a look at that one. And that looks very similar straight away to the video, doesn't it? And if you zoom out and blur it, it does fit the same shape straight away, right? So that was just a random search I just done here. In fact, it looks very close, doesn't it? Oh. Let's see, we'll get a close-up again of it, so it'll flip me one bit. So.
Did you do anything?
Too close to be... What? What's he saying? Too close to be anything astronomical. Bullcrap. You know, it's city lights. We got an image here that almost matches it. I wonder if we got some more here. There's one here. So you zoom out, blur it, muck around with filters. Bingo, solved. You know. But what he's saying, he's overlaying some space talk here of them talking strangely. Of reports. So far he's ruined it with the music.
We just clarified it with you. Did you do anything as part of source maintenance? I mean,
so why does he put echo on it, making it really hard for us to listen to it? Let's put closed captions in.
What you've already reported on?
I mean, in addition to what you already reported on. Telling. What's all the dramatic music and Nocturnal news? This is so stupid. We should disprove it as city lights.
There was a satellite nearby. So look, guys, I'm not buying that excuse for 1 minute. And
alright, so we've already debunked this one here that is just put up here. Where's my CPU gone? That's a dumbbell UFOs. Go and see my one that I pointed out last time, which actually shows how they're made with reflections on the camera.
Remember, I'm going to share with you what she said, her personal blog, once she got, or came back down to planet Earth, right? Once she came back down, what she had to say. But first, let's listen to her reaction, and then we'll go to the latest sighting, because like I said, there's going to be 3 different things that happened here, and I'm going to walk you through each and every one of them. Step 1.
Oh my god, I just pressed the eject button. Come on, Nocturnal news, you're just making up stuff. Oh my god, I just stuffed up. Heavy breathing, yes, you probably turned off the oxygen. Probably getting optical illusions now. She tells you we are on a hot Mac. Well, she's been to McDonald's. Oh, hot mic.
Okay, UFO number 2. It says captured when the viewing window shield is opened. And you
can see reflection here. And scratches and dots in the window.
You can see all the chips in the glass and everything right there. You see it? It goes right across and it makes this immediate left-hand turn. Now, what does that remind you of? It kind of reminds me of the Go Fast video from the USS Nimitz, where this thing takes off like a rocket. This little pill-shaped UFO.
Where?
You see it'll go up?
This thing.
And then it makes a very sharp turn.
So I've talked about this before. This is like ice crystal. We saw it in the last footage actually when they were separating, and some bolt flew off there and then come back at them. Maybe it hit something on the outside. Maybe it was spinning and it bounced. The bolt that blew off hits another part of the space station, then sort of spun back the other direction, back at them. But here it's really blurry footage going through a window. This could easily be a reflection of a light inside, where it's changing angles of the light source inside, which is making it look like it's moving off on the thing. But ice crystals do this as well. And when an ice crystal forms, let's see, we did have a picture here of an ice crystal. Where it forms, that's the byproduct of water from the burning of hydrogen and oxygen creates a lot of heat and pushes the rocket forward, and the byproduct is water. And of course it forms these ice crystals. They all start joining together and stuff. Now what happens when radiation hits ice? You got to remember this solar wind. You get like 30% of the solar wind bounces back out into space from Earth. Solar wind absorbed by Earth. I think that might give us what we're after. Stream of particles, plasma. How much is predicted from solar wind? What happens when solar wind hits Earth? Magnetic fields. 3 to 4 days. What's a solar wind speed? 1 million miles per hour. Okay, I think maybe that's not the right one. How much sun energy? Try that. Absorbed. So what? Okay, in total, approximately 70% of incoming radiation is absorbed by the atmosphere and the Earth's surface, while 30% is reflected back into space. So, radiation. So that sounds like solar wind, or part of it, you know. So that's going to bounce off and hit ice particles, which is going to heat them up very instantly. And of course, water then turns into a gas, right? And what happens when a gas ejects from a solid? Well, it's like a little rocket, and it makes it turn 90 degrees, right? So that's what you see in a lot of these videos. You see a floating bit of ice which flickers. Generally it spins and it causes a flickering. And as the sun hits it, or the solar radiation, heats up part of that crystal, which turns back into gas, and the gas explodes out of the crystal, a bit like a microwave, and makes it change direction. Also, what you don't see is them firing off the engines again, which they call retro Werner engines on the space shuttle. But But the space station does do these orbit burns as well, and ice comes off and spins around. But obviously this is inside a spacecraft, wasn't it? He said. So yeah, they're probably foreign recto rockets, and of course a lot of that gas you don't see is hitting the ice crystals and makes it change direction as well. So there's lots of possibilities here why things move at right angles in space. So yeah, it can be optical illusion, it could be a small object very close to the camera rather than something big, right?
And then it makes a very sharp turn.
Now you can see it sort of flickering, so it's most likely an ice crystal.
Now again, guys, that isn't debris, that isn't anything floating in space, that isn't anything in the window pane, because I know there's been a lot of videos.
So he's saying it's not an debris. Right, it's obviously an ice crystal though.
Debunked, you know, where there was these weird little orbs like floating in the glass. But guy, I mean, this is just probably one of the best, you know, I guess pieces of evidence I've ever seen.
Okay, so if that's the best evidence he's seen, that makes him very dubious as a balanced person to analyze this stuff, because he hasn't done any research like I just did. You probably can. In the past I've got a lot more research, but because I'm running out of time now, I'm not going to go into it now. But you can actually find these articles online, like this one here, which sort of answers the question about water in space. Does it freeze or boil? Well, as you know, as you go higher up on a mountaintop, boiling water is a lower temperature. So, yeah, space has obviously got no atmosphere. So it means that your blood or fluids would boil if you didn't have a spacesuit. But it's freezing cold also. So he's asking the question, does it freeze or boil? Now obviously the answer to me straight away is it's going to be both. And we're talking about nanoseconds between different states of water here. Gases. So yeah. So this is a guy mucking around with water on the space station. I'll just catch up on the side comments in a minute. Let's just have a quick skim. Blake Cousins, there's so much junk orbiting space. Yeah, and water, of course. Byproducts. You have your opinion, I have mine. Looks like a bubble. Now I've looked pretty deeply into all this stuff. I just don't make these things out of thin air. I follow the facts. Don't speculate, put it down as space junk. Yeah, but because of the half cut and the curvature, it's going to be, obviously when the doors blow open, there's going to be other stuff that holds the contents, the payload, which then is released. So it's going to be something within that structure. It's not going to be from some other spaceship, it's going to be from that spaceship. Went to the toilet, see next piece. Okay, you're going? Okay, no problem. I'm going to wrap up soon anyway. If you brought liquid water into outer space, would it freeze or would it boil? Vacuum in space is awfully different from what we're used to here on Earth. But space is different in two extreme important ways. It's cold, or further away from the star or sun. The best pressureless vacuum we know. Let's see. Don't want to get too technical. In other words, there's a inevitable drop in both temperature and pressure. So it has both. Space is really, really cold. If we talk about going to interstellar space, far away or shadow, from any stars. The only temperature comes from leftover glow from the Big Bang and cosmic background radiation, blah blah blah. But even that's a theory. The temperature of the sea or radiation is only 2.7 Kelvin, which is cold enough to freeze hydrogen solids. So there you go. It's enough to freeze hydrogen in space, which is part of water, of course. So if you take water into space, it should freeze, right? Not so fast, because if you take liquid water and you drop the pressure in the environment around it, it boils. You might be familiar with the fact that the water boils at a lower temperature at high altitudes, blah blah blah. I wish I talked about. We can find an even more severe example of this. Okay, so we don't want to look at that. It boils, and it boils quite violently. The reason for this is that water in its liquid phase requires both a certain range of pressure and a certain range of temperature. If you start with liquid water, at a given fixed temperature, a low enough pressure will cause the water to immediately boil. There's a graph. Science, science, science. Now this is why water is this amazing element in the universe, right? Well, not element. Element is a single one, isn't it? What do you call it? My mind's gone blank. A molecule of combination of elements. But anyway, obviously two gases. If you start with liquid, blah 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 blah, still going on. You can bring liquid to the space aboard, say, the International Space Station, where it can be kept in Earth-like conditions. But when you put liquid water in space, where it can no longer remain a liquid, which one of these two things happens? Does it freeze or does it boil? The surprising answer is it does both. First it boils and then it freezes. We know this is what used to happen when astronauts felt the call of nature while in space, according to the astronauts who've seen it for themselves. When the astronauts take a leak on this mission and expel the result into space, it boils violently. The vapor then passes immediately into solid state, a process known as desublimation, and you end up with a cloud of very fine crystals of frozen urine. So there you go. So that's what would happen with the gases that come off rocket engines. And I've got some technical charts here. So all this is important. I've obviously understand science and what they know from experiments as well as missions. So I suppose we can post a link to it there. And I've got to get going. Water in space. So if it boils, right, that's like a chemical, or you call it like a chemical reaction, right? But they've got a other name for it, where the bonds are forming and breaking, releasing energy. If it's going to create a lot of gas, it's going to spin that ice crystal off at a very fast speed. And that's another factor, right? Doesn't have to be rocket engines firing, even. Close tab. I think that was that one. What else do we have? Oh, right, the pyramids. I could quickly do that one. It's quite interesting, but I thought, oh yeah, we'll cover it.
All right, the Great Pyramid of Giza. Now, I've always wondered what is at the top. And to be honest, I thought it was more of a point, like a pyramid. But, I found this online about a month ago, and I meant to make a video, totally forgot. And,
yeah, so blabs on about it. Keep it going. And there's some close-ups of the bricks on the top. Sees the graffiti and got drill holes and all sorts of stuff in it. Now, we knew it didn't have a point on top. They call it the capstone. The man who put the mask at the top of the Great Pyramid. So there's the Great Pyramid, and if you look carefully, you can see it's not actually pointed, and it's got a flat bit where they've put a mask on there for some experiments, obviously. That's the guy that did it. And there's some old pictures. So you can see the top of the pyramid is actually quite big still. And these stones are quite big, and you can see how they anchored some of the metal here. So it sort of gives us an idea better. And we've also got some of images of the top of the pyramid here, and you can see here's the metal thing on top casting shadow, which you can't quite see in that image. I'll just make it full screen. So there's the image that he was getting. But you can see, yeah, the top. And you can see people get up there and vandalize it too. And obviously carve their name into it. Now, it used to apparently had a gold capstone on it. Obviously, people got up there and decided to rip it down and sell it at some point. And of course, these used to be smooth like they got in the picture here. Apparently, this all had like a nice plaster Paris type fill-in put in, so the sides were all smooth as well. And it had a gold capstone on top, like this one here. That one there looks like it's still intact, mostly, doesn't it? But you can see it's still not a point, right? The capstone's gone. But you can see here, this is what originally the outside coating was like, but more smooth, they reckon. But over millions of years, or thousands of years, I should say, it wears down. So obviously these ones are more flat on top. These other ones are the side of it. And there's another picture. So, yeah, it looks bigger here, but must be the same. Can fit 10 men across the top. Just shows how massive it must be. Anyway, better get going. But that was just doing a search, what's on top of the pyramid. So you can do all sorts of searches yourself to see for yourself, if you're interested. But that's what he did there, interest video. Talking about the graffiti you can see on it. So obviously someone's got up there, photographed it in Google Earth or whatever it is, has overlaid images as you go down further. Interesting stuff though. And yeah, we'll just wrap up there. I think we've done enough for one day. One live show, coming up to 3 hours. And I'll say good night now, and we're going to get something to eat. And wrap it up on the pyramid. Good night, all. 12 likes, so we did pretty good today. 5 still watching. Okay, guys. If you missed the beginning, scroll back, I suppose. And hopefully I can get back to part 2 next. But there might be more stuff we need to look at. So yeah, let's just kick off the ending here. And see you again in the future. And take care on the roads. I won't wait for it to completely finish. And we got no errors as far as I know. Although I haven't been doing as many checks. Yeah, it looks all good though. Good night.